A woman of God doesn't chase men because she knows who she is and who she belongs to. She understands that her worth is not defined by who notices her, texts her back, or chooses her. Her worth is already secured by the one who created her, the one who called her, and the one who crowned her with dignity and strength. She doesn't lower her standard to gain someone's attention, because she knows if a man is truly for her, he won't need to be convinced. He will pursue her the way God designed. Chasing always leads to compromise. When you chase someone, you begin to ignore the red flags, excuse the bad behavior, and convince yourself you can fix what isn't yours to fix. But a woman of God doesn't have time for that. She refuses to waste her heart on someone who isn't walking with God, because she knows a man who isn't submitted to God cannot lead her in love. She understands that love isn't proven by how much you run after someone, it's proven by how much you let God write the story. When you chase, you trade your peace for uncertainty. You start wondering if you're enough, if you're too much, or if you're doing too little. But a woman of God never lives in that confusion. She doesn't beg to be chosen. She doesn't compete for attention. She doesn't lose herself to hold on to someone else. She stands still, anchored in her faith, trusting that the right man will see her, value her, and honor her without her having to prove a thing. She knows waiting isn't weakness. Waiting is strength. Waiting is believing that God's timing is better than her own. Waiting is preparing herself, growing in character, pursuing her purpose, living fully in the calling God gave her. She knows she doesn't need to chase a man when she is already chasing God, because in that pursuit she becomes everything He created her to be. And when the right man comes, He will recognize it, not because she begged for His attention, but because her light was too bright to miss. Look at the women in Scripture. Rebecca wasn't casing Isaac. She was serving at the well, faithful in her assignment. Ruth wasn't running after bows. She was working in the field, committed to her purpose. They were found because they were faithful, not because they were desperate. That is the difference. A woman of God knows she is not hidden from the right eyes. She is only hidden until the right time. So she doesn't chase, she doesn't beg, she doesn't settle. She walks with dignity, she lives with patience, and she trusts that what God has for her will not pass her by. Because at the end of the day, a woman of God doesn't need to chase men. She is chosen, and the man God has for her will never make her question that truth.